As the Walt Disney Company destroyed their biggest girls brand, Moana, the live-action trailer is out, and it's being destroyed by the fans. Trevor Denning is reporting on this one out of thatparkpolice.com. Every time a live-action remake of an animated film is announced, the same question surfaces. Why did this movie need to be made? That conversation seems to be growing louder with the release of the live-action Moana trailer. Within hours of hitting YouTube, the like-to-dislike ratio wasn't just notable, it was impossible to ignore. Going in here, folks, as of the writing of this, and it still holds true, the dislikes are double the likes on the YouTubes. And this is coming from the main Disney account. And part of that has to do with The Rock, how he looks. Part of it has to do with this, the underwater CGI looking like Little Mermaid and Snow White combined. This is atrociously bad. There are now people finding pictures of the lighting and saying, wait a minute, how is it possible that the lighting is actually coming from different directions when there's one sun in the sky? It's because the CGI is just terrible. I think they're trying to work with the volume. I think they're also trying to make this be a one-to-one with the original animated thing. And I'm sorry, if you're going to do live action, you don't do a CGI rooster that looks like the animated rooster, but this time with pupils. Culture, this is uncanny valley, strange in every way, and it's yet another terrible, rotten gift, a lump of coal delivered from Bob Iger to Josh D'Amaro and saying, here, you go, you have it this.
Well, and that's why it looks flat. And look, I mean, I looked at this and I'm like, this shows you why working in the volume, unless you have talented set designers that are also working with the space that you have, you cannot recreate this kind of an environment inside. You just can't. And they do have, I mean, this is a 360 production style studio, or very nearly 270 degrees minimum. It also has lighting overhead that will simulate the clouds and everything else that's going on. That's why the light source is coming from everywhere, front, back, sideways, top, maybe even bottom. I don't know, but it's just, that's why it looks so ugly. This reminds me exactly of, and if you saw the movie, you'll understand the reference, the Ant-Man and Wasp Quantumania, and just how terrible that looked. And this is, look, I want a one-for-one recreation of the animation, even though it's less than or just about 10 years old. But this is not what I wanted, and it looks gray. Did you notice they even make the young lady look more gray? It's not just the terrible bodysuit on The Rock, it's the coloring.
Yeah, I agree with you because Moana, the animated film, was so colorful and vibrant. We're talking about the islands where there's ocean life and trees and coconuts and all these beautiful flowers. The lighting was not done. It's not giving any justice to the film, because the trailer is showing the kind of lighting they're using, but it's giving Little Mermaid, Snow White, my God, even How to Train Your Dragon live action was so well done with their lighting. I'm just trying to compare. But yeah, I mean, I'm just wondering how many people are really intrigued on going to see this live action. It's coming out the same week as Mario. That's not going to work. It's just not going to.
So here's the deal with Moana. If we look at this on X, this is amazing to me. People are now making their own trailers using AI. I'm not going to play those, and YouTube, these are not real, and I want everybody to know these are not real. People are making trailers in AI, and this is the first time I've seen this. The trailers look far better than what Disney has made with CGI. This is a picture of The Rock as Maui using AI. Looks far superior to what we've got with just a clunky, junky bodysuit and dulling, because and by the way, the reason the colors are so dull and gray, I think, is to hide the CGI the same way they did with the Little Mermaid. And this is just getting ravaged. It's getting ravaged online.
But I mean, we've seen this color grading before with other Disney productions. I know this one, I think the budget I saw reported out there was $150 million, but we saw this with Little Mermaid and so forth too. I don't know why every single time when it comes to one of these animated live action remakes for fantasy films, you go with this desaturated color grading. It doesn't make any sense to me. I just don't understand why. But maybe it is. Maybe it does have something to do with the effects or whatever. If I remember correctly, was it true that The Rock was going for some type of role in which he lost a lot of weight, lost a lot of muscle mass, and that's why they actually went with the suit? Is that right?
Well, that's part of the reason. The other, The other reason, Vash, is because the body of Maui, to make it look anything like Maui from animated, it's a very wide body.
Right.
So it's not just that he needs to be muscular, he needs to be wide. The crazy thing about this is, so you have this now, okay, it's not a fat suit, but it's a barrel-chested muscular suit. So it's a little bit different than the Rock's build, right? It's more like a sumo. Mm-hmm. And when Dwayne is losing huge amounts of weight, and we've seen those pictures, right? Mm-hmm. You combine that very skinny face, and you know that when you lose a lot of weight, especially if you're in your 50s, sometimes that shows, right? Extra wrinkles and that sort of thing. Mm-hmm. So you have not an emaciated, but a very slender Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson in the face, combined with a very fat, wide, muscle suit with no wrinkles. And it's so off-putting. It's so off-putting. But what's off-putting?
Yeah, you're right about I wouldn't say fat, but I would say wide, because Maui, when they drew him, he's a demigod and he's wide. So we were actually talking about this last night, because my better half has a lot to say about it. He grew up watching The Rock at wrestling. He loves wrestling. He's, this is like a lot of us here. We grew up watching him, but it's really sad. They did him injustice, but also he has an ego. So I'm wondering if his ego kicked in and said, no one's going to play Maui but me, or give someone else maybe in your family, a relative, someone that looks like you with a round face, because you're aging, dude. And Maui is a demigod. Maui is immortal. So you're not giving immortal demigod vibes. Sorry.
Yeah, it's a bizarre thing, and talked about uncanny. Mm-hmm. Folks, we reported it was one, double dislike. That's triple now. This is the latest triple dislikes on the original. Okay, so if we go to the original trailer, not the one they just released, that's now tripled. So I would imagine the one that we've been paying attention to that just came out is going to reach the same kind of dislike ratio, because it's not better, it's worse. This is no good. This is no bueno for the Disney company. And the question I go to, they released Moana 2, and I said that's a very lackluster film. I think we gave it a 4 out of 10. Mm-hmm. It just nothing compared to the original, which is something like a 9.5 or maybe even a 10 out of 10. It's a marvelous. The original Moana is a marvelous film.
Yes.
Moana 2, no. It's just no.
It's just as rewatchable as Nemo. And the girl, another issue, the girl that they placed as playing Moana, she's an up and coming actress. So they really saved a lot of money putting her instead of sorry, how do you say her name? Cavallo? Thank you. They put her in place. Yeah, I'm sure Cavallo was like, yeah, you guys want me to do it. It's going to cost you a pretty penny. And this girl probably came in for almost nothing, right? But I think she was given this role because her father has a nice placement in the Disney company, given that he did some work writing for Star Wars films. So I tried comparing all of that, and I'm like, but she really is, I think she is native Hawaiian, the girl playing, but she looks a little bit too young. I think Moana's got to be like a 15. This girl's giving like 11-year-old, 12-year-old vibes. I don't know. What do you think, Culture?
Look, I'm not as concerned about that as I am about their dulling down the appearance of these people who have the right skin tone to play these characters. Look, I mean, desaturated or not, whatever it is they're doing, whether it's filters or they bought the old lenses from Zack Snyder, whatever it is they're doing is a massive failure. Mm-hmm. And look, I think it's going to influence people's willingness to go and see this. I mean, again, if you say, hey, we're going to recreate Moana in live action in a shot-for-shot remake of this beloved animation, I think a lot of people would be on board. But if it looks like this, I don't know. And again, the rooster is
wait a minute.
No. Not hey.
No, you can say I will allow you when you're talking about plants to say rut instead of root, but we are not talking about rusters. What the heck is a ruster? It's a rooster.
Well, the other word I would use for it, you can't use nicely on YouTube.
You're doing that
on this channel.
Oh, you know what? I made such a big mistake. Did I say this thing was coming out the same week as Mario? I meant Minions and Monsters, for heaven's sake.
Yeah.
So Minions and Monsters is literally coming out like that week. What are you going to go see? Minions and Monsters or a dark and live animation of Moana and Ozempic Maui?
Well, look at this. Okay.
Wow.
On the UK, on the Disney UK account, It's now 6.8 to 1.7. And if we go to the comments, we've done this before on the pro show. I'll do it right here. Top comments. How is it possible The Rock looks even older with long hair? Looks like an SNL sketch. The Rock looks like a guy who shot a beach commercial with a wig. It looks more animated than the animated. This looks like a parody. That single frame of Tomatoa is going to haunt. You know what? I just give up on that. Even the thumbnail is the most low effort thing I've seen. Sometimes
it is very low effort.
So I don't know why if it's your top girl brand, you think you would care about it. You think you would take care of it. You think you would curate it. You think you would, it's like how Nintendo treats Mario. They're careful with it. They learn their lesson, right? And Disney is careful with Mickey. They really are. They try not to put Mickey in a position where that brand could be devalued. They just didn't care. They just don't care with Moana. And I don't understand why. It's a moneymaker. And they said, who cares? Slop it on out there, baby. Just slop it on out there. And that's,
he really left with a bang on this one. My gosh.
Floppy Bobs.
I mean, a live action Moana that looks like garbage. And then all the other flopping billion-dollar investments, everything is just like going down his shower drain.
Thanks for watching That Park Plays News. For more information, consider checking out www.thatparkplace.com. And don't forget to subscribe, share, like, and send this out on your favorite social media accounts.